Welcome to this special segment of the podcast where we turn our signature travel blog posts into quick listen episodes because we know high achievers like you don't always have time to scroll, but you do make time to reset. Whether you're dreaming about your next PTO escape or finally ready to stop postponing pleasure, this episode brings curated travel intel straight to your ears. If you want more support planning your next out of office moment, head to sunsetchaserstravelagency.com or check the show notes to connect with our concierge team. Now, let's dive in.
Best port arrival time for Disney cruise. Tips for a magical start. Planning your port arrival time for a Disney cruise vacation can be tricky, but it's crucial for a smooth embarkation day. As someone who completed their last trip just last week on the Disney Fantasy, finding the exact time to arrive at the cruise terminal can make all the difference in starting your magical vacation right. Whether booking your first Disney cruise or being among the dedicated Pearl Castaway Club members, this guide will help you navigate the process. The date of this answer reflects the most current procedures across all cruise ships, including the Disney Wish, Disney Dream, and Disney Fantasy. Understanding the online check in process. The only way to secure your ideal boarding time is through the online check in process, which begins 30 days before your departure date. As soon as your check in date arrives, you'll want to complete your port arrival form through the Disney Cruise Line website or the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. This is especially important for first time cruisers who might not be familiar with the system. During the online check in process, you'll need to provide identification documents, passport, or birth certificate, credit card information for onboard expenses, stateroom number, information for all Disney Cruise Line guests in your party. Understanding port arrival times and terminal operations. The terminal opens typically around 10:30 a.m., with the earliest time for guest arrival usually being 11 a.m. However, this can vary by departure port. For example, at Port Canaveral, which services many cruise vacations, including the Disney Wish, crew members prepare for the exciting day well before guests arrive. If you're staying at Walt Disney World Resort before your cruise, Disney Transportation or DCL transfers from Orlando International Airport can help ensure you arrive at your designated boarding time. The parking garage is conveniently located near the port terminal for those driving. Maximizing your first day on board. Getting a lower boarding number through early online check in is a good idea for several reasons. Youth clubs. Registration. You can register young kids for activities sooner. Dining experiences, more time to explore dining room options, and Marceline Market. Shore excursions, better selection for booking port adventures and Castaway Kai activities. Ship exploration, time to familiarize yourself with the ship before the muster drill. Special considerations for different guest categories. Your Castaway Club status can affect your port arrival time options. Platinum Castaway Club members and guests in a concierge stateroom typically enjoy priority boarding. Disney Vacation Club members may also receive special privileges. If you're working with a travel agent, they can provide valuable guidance about the best arrival times based on your specific Disney Cruise Line reservation. They might even share insights from their last trip to help you plan better. I always tell first time Disney cruisers that your port arrival time is the key to starting your vacation off right. After years of sailing with Disney Cruise Line, I found that arriving around 11 a.m. is that sweet spot where you can often bypass the heaviest crowds while still getting on board early enough to enjoy lunch in Marceline Market and explore the ship before the muster drill. Remember, your vacation starts when you step into the terminal. Make those first few hours count, explains travel industry expert and CLIA certified cruise specialist Mallory Lindsly. Tips for a smooth embarkation process. Here's how to ensure your first day starts smoothly. Before arriving, to prepare for your cruise, complete the online check in process as early as possible, giving you the best chance at securing your preferred arrival time. It's essential to download the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app before your journey, as this will help you stay informed about activities and updates throughout your cruise. Before leaving home, carefully attach your luggage tags to ensure your bags make it to your stateroom, and pack a day bag with all your essential items since you may not have immediate access to your checked luggage. Finally, gather all your required documentation and keep it easily accessible. This includes your passport or birth certificate, cruise documents, and any other necessary paperwork for your sailing. At the terminal. Upon arriving at the terminal, you'll first proceed through the metal detector security check, which helps ensure everyone's safety during the cruise. As you move through the terminal, helpful cast members will be stationed throughout to provide guidance and direction. Don't hesitate to look to them for assistance. If you have specific questions during check in, you can use the convenient question dialog box or question button in the terminal to get the help you need. Once you receive your room key, keep it readily accessible, as you'll need it throughout the embarkation process to access your stateroom once you are aboard. Communication and updates. There are several ways to stay informed about your upcoming cruise. You'll receive critical email communications from Disney Cruise Line with updates and essential information about your sailing. For additional tips and insights, the Disney Parks Moms panel offers valuable advice from experienced cruisers who can share their firsthand knowledge. If you have specific questions or concerns, you can always contact a Disney Cruise Line representative who can provide detailed assistance with your booking. Additionally, if you're working with a travel agent, they'll update you with important information and any changes that might affect your cruise experience. Frequently asked questions. Understanding the best port arrival time can enhance your Disney cruise experience. Let's break down the key points. What's the earliest I can arrive at the port for my Disney cruise? Typically, the earliest port arrival time for a Disney Cruise Line sailing is 11 a.m. This time may vary slightly depending on the specific cruise and port. You select your port arrival time when you complete your online check in, which can be done 30 days before sailing. How does the port arrival time relate to the boarding process for a Disney cruise? Your port arrival time is crucial because it dictates when you can begin the boarding process. The earlier you select your arrival time, the sooner you can board and enjoy the ship's amenities. Arriving at your designated time helps ensure a smoother and quicker boarding process. What are the last possible port arrival times allowed for a Disney cruise? While the exact times can vary, arriving no later than 3 p.m. on the day of embarkation is generally recommended. Specific deadlines are listed in your cruise documents and can differ based on the cruise and port. Adhere to these times to avoid any last minute complications. How early is it recommended to arrive at the port before a Disney cruise? I recommend arriving at your designated port arrival time as closely as possible. This helps to minimize waiting times and ensures a more efficient check in and boarding experience. If you arrive too early, you might have to wait outside the terminal. Stick to your selected time slot for optimal convenience. What should I do if I miss my designated port arrival time? If you miss your designated port arrival time, don't panic. There are established procedures for handling this situation. When you arrive at the cruise terminal, explain your situation to the cast members at the entrance. They regularly make 2 p.m. late arrivals and will direct you to the appropriate check in area. You may need to join a different boarding group, but the crew members will ensure you get processed as efficiently as possible. Remember that while you can still board after missing your port arrival time, you must arrive before the final boarding time, typically 3:30 p.m. This cutoff is strict because the ship must meet maritime regulations for departure times. Pro tip: if you're driving and worried about traffic, consider booking a hotel near the departure port the night before. If you plan to use Disney Transportation or DCL transfers, book an arrival time that gives you plenty of buffer for potential delays. Your magical vacation. Remember that crew and cast members are there to ensure your cruise vacation starts smoothly. If you're taking port adventures or planning shore excursions to destinations like Castaway Cay, an early boarding time gives you more opportunity to finalize arrangements. For upcoming cruise plans, especially if it's your first Disney cruise, arriving at your designated time helps avoid congestion at the port terminal. Captain Mickey and the crew can't wait to welcome you aboard for an exciting day of adventures. From all of us who love Disney Cruise Line, bon voyage, and happy sailing on your magical vacation. Note: procedures and timing may vary by ship, Disney Wish, Disney Dream, Disney Fantasy, and departure port. Always verify current requirements for your specific sailing.